welcome back to another episode of the Burning Empowerment of Your Soul blog series. I'm here today with a heart of fire, ready to bring your encouragement, wisdom, and a charge that will ignite your spirit. Every vlog that we create together, we build in one another, and we strive to strengthen as iron sharpens iron. See, this week our title is The Power to Shape Tomorrow. Our scripture text comes from Proverbs chapter 22:6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. See, the quote that we're going by is, a good teacher is like a candle. It consumes itself to light the way for others. This is not just about words though, but it's about transformation, about setting your life on fire with purpose, passion, and persistence. Today's topic is something deeply personal, yet universally powerful. The influence of a school teacher and the call each of us carries to shape tomorrow. We live in a world full of noise, politics, division, distractions, and discouragement. Yet, in the midst of all the chaos, there are still individuals who stand as beacons of light. People who believe in the potential of others, even when society overlooks them. Teachers are some of those individuals. They plant seeds in silence, often never seeing the harvest. And the truth of it all, these teachers influence many individuals. They plant seeds in silence and wait for a harvest that they may never encounter. See, every conversation, every choice, every way we model resilience becomes a classroom to someone watching us. That's why today we're here to build one another, to empower each other in the lesson that surrounds around being a teacher. See, a man who shapes lives not through fame, but through faithfulness. See, one teacher that is such is this Mr. Daniels, a middle school teacher in a small town. He wasn't flashy. He didn't drive a nice fancy car, and he never made the evening news. But every student who entered his classroom quickly realized that they were stepping into something different. Yes, something different. He didn't just teach math and literature, but he taught life. When kids walked in there with their heads down, burdened by the troubles of life at home, he noticed when students struggled not just with their homework, but with self-worth, he spoke life into them. His class wasn't just about equations or essays, but it was about courage, character, and believing in yourself when the world told you to quit. Yes, the students may struggle, not just with their homework, but with self-worth. So he spoke life into them. His class wasn't just about trying to get ahead, to being the teacher of the month, but he knew that each and every single student needed some words of encouragement. See, one day a student came into Mr. Daniels' class wearing the weight of the world on his back. His father had been arrested. His mother worked 2 jobs, and the boy had already been labeled a troublemaker. Everyone else had written this boy off, but not Mr. Daniels. He pulled him aside and said, I see more in you than you see in yourself. You're not a failure. You're a fighter. And fighters win when they refuse to give up. That's one sentence shifted the boy's outlook. Years later, that same boy became the first in his family to graduate from college. Why? Because one teacher believed in him. Wasn't that empowerment? Isn't that what it's all about? See, seeing the greater good in someone else, beyond someone's current condition, and pointing them towards the greater tomorrow. For Mr. Daniels, teaching was more than just a job. It was warfare against despair. His chalkboard was his shield. His lesson plan was his sword. And his faith was his armor. Every day, he showed up ready to fight. See, fight that he was in was for every kid's future. And here's the truth. We can't ignore the classroom is not the only battlefield. Your workplace, your home, your community, these are battlegrounds too. Like Mr. Daniels, you're called to step into those spaces, not just with skill, but with that fierce encouragement, determination to speak life where there may be death, hope where there's hopelessness, and discipline where there may be distractions. When you live this way, you're not just existing, but you're leading, you're teaching, and you're shaping tomorrow. Think about Jesus. Jesus himself was called a teacher. People gathered on mountainsides, in boats, and in the streets to hear him speak. He didn't just deliver lectures, but he transforms lives and hearts. Much like Mr. Daniels, Jesus looked at people that others had given up on. The tax collector, the leper, the outcast, and he spoke destiny into each and every single one of them. If our Savior chose the mantle of the teacher, then we know that teaching, guiding, mentoring, and shaping is a holy calling. Every time you pour wisdom into someone else, then you're also doing your discipleless mission. Every time you pour wisdom into someone else, you're walking in the footsteps of Christ. Here's the remarkable part. Mr. Daniels never got to see the full impact of his teaching. Many students went on to do great things. Teachers, nurses, leaders, and entrepreneurs, but they rarely came back to say thank you. Yet, his influence rippled through generations. That's how legacy works. You may never see all of the fruit of your labor, but that doesn't mean it's not growing. Parents, leaders, mentors, don't give up sowing into others just because you don't see the instant results. Seeds take time, and when they bloom, they often bloom bigger than you ever even imagined. One winter, the school suffered a fire that destroyed parts of the building. Students were displaced, teachers were frustrated, resources were stretched thin. But Mr. Daniels turned it into a lesson of resilience. We don't quit because the environment changes, he told his class. Yes, he was pushing his class to be more than they could. He said, we don't quit. We don't quit, but we build, we adapt, and we rise. And that's what they did. Classes met in church basements, in libraries, even under outdoor tents until the school was repaired. That season taught every single student more than academics. It taught them that resilience is not just about avoidance or avoiding hardships, but about thriving in the midst of it. What if you had the same approach in your life? That we approach all our challenges with the same mindset. See, Mr. Daniels often reminded his students, character, what's in you do when no one is watching. He gave small, unnoticeable assignments, not to grade them, but to shape them. He knew that integrity in small bunches prepares you for responsibility and greater things. See, that's biblical truth. See, Luke chapter 16 and 10 tells us whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. In a society obsessed with quick success and flashy recognition, this lesson feels like old-fashioned news, but it's not. It's eternal. Integrity is still the current leadership of today. Yes, what's powerful is that Mr. Daniels didn't see himself as a hero. He often said he learned just as much from his students as they did from him. Isn't that the great humility that we're called to be? Humility that we all need. Life isn't about always being an authority, but it's about being teachable, adaptable, and willing to grow. Sometimes the greatest wisdom comes from the most unnoticeable voices. Teachers who remain lifelong students leave the deepest mark. Leaders who listen as much as they speak shape culture and destinies. Yes, here we're talking about stories that come home. You may not stand in a classroom, but you're still a teacher. Parents, your children are watching your every single move. Employers, your workers take cues from your leaderships. Friends, your circle notices how you handle adversity. You're teaching with your life, whether you realize it or not. The question is, what lessons are you passing on? Will the people who are around you be able to tell and notice how you handle adversity? You're teaching others every single moment of the day. So will the people who watch you learn bitterness and defeat, or will they learn resilience, faith, and perseverance? The choice is yours. Yes, as we close today, let me remind you that your influence matters. You are shaping tomorrow with every action, every word, every example that you set. See, be a Mr. Daniels in your life. To someone, because someone needs this story. Speak belief when the world speaks doubt. Stand resilient when circumstances demand retreat. Live with integrity when shortcuts look tempting. Teach not just with your lips, but with your life. And when you do, you will leave a legacy that outlives you, and the ripple effects that transform generations. See, this post has been more than just one man in a classroom, but really it's yours. Whether your classroom is a family table, a business office, a church pew, or a community center, your calling is the same: to teach, to guide, to empower. Remember, Proverbs 22:6, train up those that are around you in the way that they should go. And even when life tries to pull them off track, the lesson you planted will not depart. Yes, it may be related to children, but it also is guided to those that are looking around you. So rise up and ignite your passion and step boldly into your role as a teacher of destiny. Because when you're light, the fire that's within you, you ignite the burning empowerment of your own soul. See, as we close today, let me remind you that your influence matters. You are shaping tomorrow with every action, every word, every example that you set. Be the Mr. Daniels in someone's story. Speak belief when the world speaks doubt. Stand resilient when circumstances demand retreat. Live with integrity when shortcuts may look tempting. Teach not just with your lips, but with your life. And when you do, you will leave a legacy that outlives you. A ripple effect that transforms generations. In today's vlog, we explored the powerful example of Mr. Daniels, whose story illuminates the timeless principles of influence, resilience, and integrity. From the very first moment, Mr. Daniels demonstrated that teaching is more than imparting knowledge, but it's a sacred responsibility to shape hearts and minds in a world overwhelmed by the noise, distraction, and discouragement. His unwavering presence and faithfulness became the beacon of hope for every student who walked through his classroom door. His story reminds us that teaching is in many forms. It's about seeing potential where others may see limitations and believing in the unseen possibilities of others. That single act of faith ignited a lifelong journey of success and purpose. Through this, we understand that empowerment begins with recognition, the simple yet profound act of seeing and affirming in others the value of human beings. The classroom became a battlefield where despair was met with courage, adversity met with resilience, and trials met with steadfast faith. Mr. Daniels taught lessons not only in academics, but in perseverance, demonstrating the real success comes from thriving amid challenges rather than avoiding them. His emphasis on integrity in the small blueprint, often unseen moments, provided a blueprint for a lasting character, reinforcing the biblical truths that what is faithful in the small will be rewarded in the great. Importantly, Mr. Daniels modeled humility, lifelong learning. By remaining a student of life, he exemplified the importance of being teachability, showing the influence grows when one listens as much as they speak. His story was to extend beyond his classroom, challenging all of us to recognize that we are all teachers in our own spheres. Parents, leaders, friends, and community members. Every single one of us, every action, every word, every example has the potential to guide, uplift, and empower those that are around us. Ultimately, this message is a call to action. Embrace your role as a teacher of destiny. Speak belief when doubt surrounds you. Stand resilient when challenges arise. And live with integrity in all your circumstances. By doing so, you create a ripple effect that transforms lives, shapes generations, and ignites the burning empowerment of your own soul. So until next week, take care, my friends. Take care of my family. And see you again next week, Monday at 12. And God bless.